evening and welcome to this edition of Newsleader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, a bill to make the Holy Bible the official state book is awaiting the governor's signature. Supporters of Insure Tennessee protested at House Speaker Beth Harwell's office on Tuesday. Citizens Tri-County Bank has purchased a Franklin County bank, and we'll speak with the Coffee County Mayor about the county's budget process. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's Newsleader on 6.
Time to get fit, Tullahoma, and register today for the I Am for the Child Family 5K Run and Walk. You'll be proud to know you're supporting the Children's Court-Appointed Special Advocate, or CASA, while running or walking Saturday, April 9th at Fraser McEwen Park at 8 a.m. Pre-register at active.com for $25 or starting at 6:30 a.m. the day of the race. Special thanks to these sponsors: Chick-fil-A, Light Tea, City of Tullahoma. Click on active.com and register for the CASA 5K Family Fun Run and Walk.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
Welcome back. The Tennessee State Senate voted 19-8 on Monday in favor of a bill that would make the Holy Bible the official state book. This despite arguments by the state attorney general that the measure conflicts with a provision in the Tennessee Constitution stating that no preference shall ever be given by law to any religious establishment or mode of worship. Opponents argued the bill would be trivialized. Argued the Bible would be trivialized by being placed alongside other state symbols such as the official tree, flower, rock, or amphibian. Sponsor of the legislation, Republican Senator Steve Sutherland, argued that his bill is aimed at recognizing the Bible for its historical and cultural contributions to the state rather than its government endorsement of religion. Governor Bill Haslam has previously said that he opposes the measure, but hasn't said yet if he will veto the bill.
Insure Tennessee supporters held a protest on Tuesday inside the lobby of Republican House Speaker Beth Harwell's office at the Legislative Office Complex in Nashville. The protesters read statements, waved signs, and placed shoes representing uninsured Tennesseans at the entrance to Speaker Harwell's office. State troopers stood nearby to help lawmakers, lobbyists, and other visitors gain entry to the Speaker's suite. Governor Bill Haslam last year proposed extending Medicaid coverage to 280,000 low-income Tennesseans, but the measure failed to gain sufficient support among fellow Republicans in the legislature. Governor Haslam has said he doesn't expect the Insure Tennessee proposal to be revisited until after this year's presidential election.
Dunlap-based Citizens Tri-County Bank said it will purchase Franklin County United Bank, which currently operates offices in Deckard and Cowan. Citizens Tri-County first opened in 1972. It bought out Tullahoma's first national bank some 10 years ago. The bank has branches in Coffee, Grundy, Warren, Marion, Van Buren, Hamilton, and Sequatchie counties. The bank lists assets of $805 million. Franklin County United Bank opened in 2004 and has reported assets of $78 million. It reported, however, a loss of $290,000 last year. Citizens Tri-County says the merger will be completed by the third quarter of this year. All Franklin United Bank employees will remain on the job.
Tennessee Department of Health Commissioner Dr. John Dreisner suggests those who perceive raw milk as having significant health benefits compared to pasteurized milk should understand the risks. Milk, whether it comes from the seemingly healthy cows, goats, or any other animal, can cause serious health problems, including death, if it has not been pasteurized to kill harmful bacteria. This reminder from the Tennessee Department of Health comes following the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's announcement regarding hospitalizations and a death from listeria infections linked to people drinking raw milk from a Pennsylvania dairy. In the last 3 years, Tennessee has experienced outbreaks associated with drinking raw milk that was not pasteurized. Most notably, in 2013, 9 residents under the age of 9 years old were sickened with E. coli bacteria. 5 required hospitalization for life-threatening kidney failure. Fortunately, none of the children died.
State epidemiologist Dr. Tim Jones said, quote, "The most common arguments we hear about raw milk are pasteurization kills the good parts of milk, and people have been drinking milk for years without harm. In reality, the process of pasteurization is a simple heating process that destroys bacteria without causing significant change to the nutritional benefits of milk. No one really knows how many people may have been harmed by drinking raw milk because the effects can mimic other health issues, and illnesses and deaths in the past may not have been properly linked to the contaminated milk they consumed."
Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment with more Newsleader on 6.
Trucks, trucks, and more trucks. Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Winchester is your home for both new and pre-owned trucks. We have a huge selection of over 200 trucks to choose from. Check us out on the web at russellbarnett.com and view our great selection. We are your truck headquarters, and we want to be your one-stop shop. That's Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Winchester, your truck headquarters. Trucks, trucks, and more trucks. Why buy anywhere else?
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Welcome back. The Coffee County Horseplay Group held their annual luncheon fundraiser last Friday at the First Methodist Church in Tullahoma. John Gray brings us this report.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming into the annual Horseplay luncheon, and I mean, we've got all the good guys here today doing this stuff. There's Bonnie Halcomb right there. All these horseplay guys. Look at you. Well, you know what?
How you doing, John?
Doing good. You doing good today? Y'all got any
We've done too good today.
fox belly or deer back in here?
We're about out of food.
About out of food.
Almost, but we can get you some back here.
Okay. All right. They're doing good here. They have. Look at there. Look at those two good-looking gals right there. If that's not horseplay or horsing around, I've never seen it. Yeah, the room's full, and they started at 11 o'clock this morning, and they say they're just about out of food. So it's a big event right here, a lot of fun, and it's for a great cause. Horseplay is. There's Rob Hatfield. Look at you. They've got all kinds of folks in here eating, and look at the food line here. There's salads and smiling faces. Everybody's happy here today. Supporting horseplay. Look at there. Doing good, doing good. So it's they got plenty of food, plenty of meats, vegetables, and all kinds of good things happening down here. And this is to support horseplay. Yeah, check this bunch out right here. Look at this table full right here now. If this isn't y'all horsing around, aren't you? We are. Horsing around for horseplay. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, there's no way to feed everybody without a great kitchen staff, and horseplay, they've got them back here. Look at all these people back here working and making things happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Philip Bailey and the Bailey girls here, and they're volunteers with horseplay. Philip, has it been a good day today?
It's been good. We've had lots of folks come in. The food's going well. I think everyone's enjoying and having a good time. Volunteers are doing the work we set up yesterday, and we'll tear down this afternoon after the meal's over. This is Marion Anderson, a good friend of ours. She's also a volunteer.
Who's that pretty face down there?
This is Cora Ann, Caroline, and Katie Jo.
All right, and how long have y'all been volunteering and helping with horseplay?
I've been helping about 4 or 5 years, and then Katie has been helping three. Marion's been helping longer than I have. I think 5 years, yeah.
Good, and how about you, dear?
Yeah, she's finally grown up big enough to where she can help with the horses.
Well, that's great, you know, and we certainly, all of us in the community, appreciate what folks like you do to make a great organization like Horseplay viable in our community. You do a great service.
It's wonderful to watch the kids brighten up when they come in to see the horses, and then some are kind of tight when they start, but they loosen up and are having a lot of fun by the time we're done.
That's great. That's great. Give me a big wave, girls. Thank you from Horseplay and the Bailey family.
On Tuesday's Newsleader, we brought you a report on Dancing with the Coffee County Stars. Tonight we feature the winners of that event, Dave and Georgianne Jaggers. Let's watch.
Please welcome Dave and Georgianne Jaggers.
More Newsleader on 6 is coming up after these messages.
I'm Philip Bourne, Stamping Nab Detail Shop Manager. Here are a few things our customers have to say about our service.
What I love most about the Stem McNabb Detail Shop is there's someone local that I can trust to pick up my car, have it cleaned, and deliver it back to me in showroom condition.
What really amazed me is when he opened the hood and looked like he had taken the old engine out and put a new engine inside.
We have several different packages and individual services to get your vehicle looking like new again. We're located just behind Stem McNabb Chevrolet dealership. Call today, schedule an appointment, and see what the difference our detail can make.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
At the time, maybe you were just building a bridge, a business, or a community. Maybe you were simply working for a home or a better tomorrow. At the time, you served out of duty and love of country. But in that time, we see a legacy created, an American dream lived. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back. Tom Corrington spoke recently with Coffee County Mayor Gary Cordell about the county budget process.
You got a budget passed last year on time and with no tax increase. We're just now starting the budget season, I guess.
Yes,
so
we are.
how do things look? What are you hoping for?
We are fast and furious right now in the budget process. And I would say that I didn't pass that last year. Our county commission, to their credit, passed that with no increase. But they have the control of the purse. You know, they vote on that. And I'm hoping we do that and have another budget passed hopefully by June the 30th, again with no tax increase. That's the guideline, that's the bottom line to what we're trying to work to. I can't promise or guarantee anything, but because we're right now in that process, and it's we got a budget finance committee meeting tomorrow night, and we're right in knee deep in that again. But the different departments they've submitted the budget to our budget finance director. The Department of Education will be submitting theirs here in the next few weeks coming over. But right now we're evaluating department by department to see what the requests are, and are those requests absolutely essential? We're trying to keeping a tight
Did
rein
you
on.
give them all a target and say, don't submit anything any higher than it was last year?
Well, we encourage that, but you know, everyone wants a salary increase or whatever, and we want to. But last year, Tom, I'll say this as I did on the break. In that process last year, we essentially froze our non-essential items below line item 300, which is other than salary items, on the county side, to basically just freezing that to where it was the year before. And that's the way last year the county commission basically was able to come up with no tax increase. And we hope we may have to do that again this year.
So you're going to, but you're at least going to have a salary request increase.
Always, every year.
Always.
Every year. And we're working through that process right now, trying to, within those budget constraints, trying to work with some of our first responders, getting their compensation up a little bit, because we're finding that in our ambulance, with our EMS workers, our compensation level compared to other counties is somewhat lower, so we're training people, bringing them on board, and they're going elsewhere. So we're trying to slow that drain down. Same way in our jail with our correction officers. We're finding out that their compensation is lower than other counties, so we get them hired and get them trained, and then they go elsewhere. So we're trying to close that gap a little bit to keep quality trained people here.
Yeah, well, sure. You had a recent audit,
yes, sir.
And everything, basically, the audit, the state conducts the audit, and it looked pretty good.
Yes, sir.
There were no major problems of any kind.
No major findings. We did have 6 findings this year. That's down from 10 the prior year, and 3 were on the Board of Education side and 3 on the county government side. And those are being reviewed and addressed, and I hope in time we have, and there's only a handful of counties statewide that have 0 findings. The public doesn't know that, but I want to see the day where we have Coffee County down at 0 findings.
Yeah, well, you had 10 and last year, and none of those were
significant or major.
Yeah, none of those were significant or causing anybody any trouble. Okay. And you know, it's interesting. I think it's worthwhile to mention to folks now and then that there are several of the departments that don't report to you.
That is correct.
You can't really, those that are independently elected.
Yes, sir.
School board, for example, the Register of Deeds.
Right.
Any of those folks, you can't really tell them what to do. You just have to work with them and hope you can come together.
That is true, and I told some folks Saturday in the meeting that we have constitutionally elected officers or officials in the state, or in the county rather, and I have no legal authority to tell any of them how they run their budget, who they hire, who they don't hire, how they operate their departments.
Right.
The sheriff department is totally separate. I can't control what the sheriff department does, or circuit court clerk, or county court clerk, or register of deeds, or trustee, or so. That's just the way county government operates.
Strange organization.
It really is. We are one of 95 political subdivisions in the state, And the state has laid it out that way, that that's the structure they've established over the years. And a lot of people think, well, the mayor can just tell everybody what to do. It doesn't work that way. But we do work well together.
The rest of the counties, I would think, are probably got the same problem.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're all, as you say, those are all constitutional offices that we're talking about. So it'd take a constitutional amendment to change it.
And that was last addressed and changed tweaked in 1978.
And we'll be right back in just a moment.
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
We're losing it, doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. Tinted windows are quite popular on today's automobiles. However, you might not know that there are legal limits to how dark that tint can be. Jim spoke with Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell about the issue.
We were talking in that earlier segment about challenging things that police officers have to do, or law enforcement people, or anybody that keeps the peace in our country or our city. And I was just wondering, we were talking about that when you have to do traffic stops or whatever, you never really know what you're going to encounter. Tinted windows, looks like to me that would be a problem. Is there a procedure for that?
There is a procedure. All officers get training how to handle traffic stops. The number one goal every day is to go home safely to your family. So you've got to practice some officer survival skills in almost everything you do, whether it be a traffic stop, a domestic violence call, stopping somebody on the street. A lot of things come into play that police officers have to practice, and we don't want them to become complacent, because as we all know, complacency is what gets you hurt. But yes, traffic stop windows with dark tinted windows do pose a problem. So there is legislation that limits how dark your window tinting can be. Now, where does that fit on the spectrum of enforcement? The law does allow us to stop somebody simply if we think their window is too dark. It's written in the law that we can do that. So, an officer driving down the road could see a window that looks dark, just their own perception, and they can stop the car and conduct an investigation. And many of the officers carry tint meters to where they can actually measure the...
There is such a thing?
Yeah. Measure the tint of your window.
Unbelievable.
We can measure the ones that roll down. It's more difficult for the windshield or the rear window, because the tint meter has a slot you just stick over the window, and it'll read the percentage of how much light is transmitted through that film.
Do all officers carry them, or you just have some?
We have several of them, so they're at, they can get, someone's always got one that's on duty.
Who knew if we needed, there was such a thing?
Yeah. Well, the state law has a specific percentage that the window cannot exceed. So we have to have a way to measure that. In the old days, you use things like a quarter. If you could read the quarter through the tint, it was too much, or they came out with a card that if you could read the writing on the card through the tint, you were okay. A lot of those factors, but now they've moved to electronic technology that allows you to get a reading that says what it's called a VLT, visual light transmission.
Yeah.
And
so people that do window tinting are supposed to know.
The people that do window tinting they know the law, and they're supposed to put a sticker on there that says, their window tint conforms to the law. But what we often find is, they'll put on what you pay for.
The pet of the week this week at the Tullahoma Animal Shelter is a terrier mix named Buddy. He entered the shelter as a stray in September of 2014 and is approximately 4.5 years old and weighs about 28 pounds. He's up to date on his vaccinations, heartworm negative, and has been neutered by the animal shelter. Buddy likes it at the shelter, but would love a forever home. Be sure to check out the shelter on Facebook for for information about upcoming events and fundraisers. Remember, you can help support your local shelter by adopting, donating, or volunteering. For more details, contact Teresa at 454-9580. The Tullahoma Animal Shelter is located at 942 Maplewood Avenue.
The Coffee County Humane Society's featured pet this week is Queenie. Queenie is a mixed breed dog who would make a great family pet as long as there are no cats. The shelter also has many other dogs available for adoption at 1210 Oakdale Street in Manchester. Hours of operation at the shelter are 7:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. The shelter's phone number is 723-2730. Donations for animal care can be made at the Coffee County Humane Society, P.O. Box 252, Manchester 37349. Their website is www.coffeehumane.org.
And we'll be right back with your weather forecast right after this.
The Kia Summers on Us sales event is going on right now at Russell Barnett Kia of Tullahoma. Let me tell you about this event. Purchase a new Kia Sedona, Kia Optima, Kia Forte, and receive 0% financing up to 66 months and your first 3 payments for free. For a limited time only, no strings attached. With America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, Kia is the power to surprise. The Kia Summers on Us sales event going on right now. Why buy anywhere else?
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1946 at 83 degrees. The record low was in 2007 at 22 degrees. The average high on this day is 69 and the average low is 45. Tonight, look for cloudy with a 40% chance of showers in the forecast with a low of around 40. Partly cloudy weather expected on Friday with a high of 57 and a low of 34. And Saturday, sunny weather in the forecast with a high of 52 and a low of 33. And that's our Newsleader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for Newsleader on 6. You have a good evening.
Have a great evening.